Hi everyone, Liane here. I hope you're doing well. I am riding this rainbow ink tag train and I'm really excited to share with you my current ink favorites as far as selections from the rainbow colors go. I was tagged by Sarah from Ginger Peachy Pens and also Paris from Frenchy and Focus, and I'm just so happy to respond. So I will do the Roy G. Biv color spectrum. I'm trying to go as basic as I can because there are so many other inks that fall between the primary colors that I'm just like, I would love to be able to swatch them all, but I don't know if I could fit them all on this A5 spread here. So I'm just gonna go pretty basic. Roy G. Biv, that's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. I actually have kind of an indigo color here, so that'll be a good addition. And then I also have kind of like a magenta pink as well. So that's eight colors total. So why don't I go ahead and get started with pink. And this is Pennonia, or a collaboration between Pennonia and Amarillo or Amarillo Stationery. And this is the color Rosa Mexicano. And I just got this recently from Eric. Eric had reached out and asked if I was interested in trying out some of their inks, and I said, yes, please. And turns out I really like this ink a lot, or it actually reminds me a lot of the J. Herbin Rose Cyclamen. But I think this ink is a little bit less saturated, which I like. So why don't I just get started with the pink here. This is Rosa Mexicano, and look how gorgeous this water looks when I flush out this eyedropper here. I have a few viewers who have asked about this eyedropper. It's the plastic transfer pipettes that you get with every bottle of Dominant Industry ink. And recently Dominant Industry had sent along quite a few lovely, lovely inks. And so now I have a surplus of these eyedroppers. And now I actually prefer using these to swatch inks with over that glass eyedropper that I've been using. It's easier to clean, and yeah, I just really enjoy using it. It's really easy. Okay, so back to swatching. Oh wow, isn't that pretty? It's a very romantic pink. Not so saturated where it feels like it's neon, but also a little subdued for a bright pink. I hope that makes sense. So I also have, well, I have two dip pens here. This is my trusty Kakimori brass nib pen in the cherry wood holder. And then I also recently got this J. Herbin glass dip pen, and I got this on Atlas Stationers. I love these, this brass nib pen is delightful to write with, but I also know that it's kind of at a higher price point. And then also this J. Herbin dip pen is a little bit more on the affordable side as well. Still pricey if you think about writing utensils, but this I think is around $20. I also have my blotting paper. I have it cut down to the A6 size, and it normally sits in my Hobonichi A6 planner. Okay, this is Pennonia. Stationery, and this is in Rosa Mexicano. This dip pen is very comfortable in the hand. I didn't think I would like it because it kind of has a narrow grip section, but for some reason, and I think it's because of this bulbous area here, it just sits quite nicely. There we go. Oh, I also need to do a little swatch there as well. So that's my pink. This is Rosa Mexicano by Pennonia and Amarillo or Amarillo Stationery. Next up is Sailor Ink Studio in 830. I had this featured in one of my earlier videos in the reds and burgundy ink comparison video, I thought that this was my favorite, one of my favorite reds. I don't have a lot of red inks, actually. I don't have any, well, I do have a couple red inks, but they're a little bit more muted, or they're more in the brown end of the spectrum, color spectrum. But this one I would say is probably one of my more vibrant reds. It still has a little bit of like orangish tinge to it. But if I were to get a bottle of red ink, I'd probably get this one, and you'll see why in just a second. Yeah, it's just a rich red. But what I do like about the Sailor Ink Studio 830 is that when it dries, there's this really pretty sheen to it. So this bulbous part of the dip pen doesn't get into these little ink vials very well, so I do have to tip the vial a little bit in order to get an adequate dip. Sailor. I have noticed that there is a certain ease with writing with this pen. It's very nice. Okay, so that's red. The next color is orange, and this is Colorverse Martian. I featured this in one of my stories, I think, on Instagram. Oh, I won't be able to dip the pen into this little bottle here. But anyway, I really, really like this orange because it has a little bit of green in here, and I'll show you in a second. Some people have mentioned that my ink swatch of Colorverse Martian looks like the planet Mars. Wow, such an electric color. Okay, let's see if I can dip this in here. Oh no, I can't get an adequate dip. A little bit, okay. This is Colorverse Martian. I also think it's really fun to see the progression of my ink swatch doodles. I've noticed that I've figured out a system is uniform and seems to kind of stay with me throughout all of my ink swatch videos, and it's this little, what do you call it? It's like this little vine design, which is actually quite interesting now that I think about it, because my name Liane, the meaning of it means like a bond or a vine, like Liana. So it was totally unintentional, very subconscious, but now I've created some sort of doodle that is very much like a vine. And this is my favorite orange. For yellow, I actually don't have my favorite yellow, my primary color yellow. It would be the Pennonia Dungo Wasp. I got it as a sample from Ayan, and for some reason I can't find it, and I don't know if I already used it all, but that would be the yellow here. But that being said, Wearingeul's kyong-hui is actually one of my favorite yellows, but this is more of a yellow orange or orange yellow. But because I don't have Dungo Wasp, this is going to be my color for, or my ink for yellow. And this is one of my favorite inks, especially in the yellow color family, but it's more golden yellow. So anyway, it'll look good together with Colorverse Martian. It would have been Dungo Wasp if I could find the ink vial, but I can't at the moment. Can't seem to find it. Wow, that's so pretty. I thought it was gonna look too similar to Colorverse Martian, but I see that it looks beautiful on its own. It's still strikingly yellow. Okay. This is Wearingeul kyong-hui. Oh, one of my favorite inks. I can't say of all time because I feel like, you know, I'm still so early in my fountain pen journey, but it's one of my favorites. That is true. Okay, so I got pink, red, orange, yellow. Now we're off to green. Now the green that I picked is Colorverse Green Goddess. I just like how bright it is. It's a jewel toned emerald green. Oh, so pretty. Okay, Colorverse. Green Goddess. I have this ink currently in my Pilot Custom 743 in verdigris. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, Colorverse Green Goddess. And then for blue, I have Robert Oster's Fire and Ice. I can't remember if I have a bottle of this or if I just had so many ink samples that, yeah, that I just consolidated them. I started pouring them into these little ink wells, and I don't remember what the name of these vials are called. But Robert Oster Fire and Ice is one of my favorite blues. I almost said Konpeki, but I've never inked up Konpeki in a pen, so I can't tell you how much I actually like it, but in the ink swatch, Konpeki is very, very nice. Robert Oster Fire and Ice is a swatch that I really think is beautiful, but then also I've inked it up in lots of pens. This is an ink that I very much enjoy. And I also don't really have a lot of blue inks. Look at that. Robert Oster. This ink isn't true blue, it's like a turquoise. It's like a turquoise color, but like I said, I'm just trying to keep it as basic as possible. And this is the blue ink that I tend to use the most. Now I'm going to do Indigo. This next ink is also an ink that I got from Eric from Amarillo Stationery, and this is Monarca Cenote. And I have to shake it up a little bit because it's a shimmer ink. And this is a deep indigo color that sheens beautifully, and it has shimmer as well. So let me get a sample of this. Okay, this ink is going to be my most saturated. It'll be the darkest ink on the spread. Oh, wow. Wow, I love it already. I think this might be a color that I will really enjoy. I'm surprised that I'm drawn to really dark inks. For example, I probably mentioned Diamine Holly in every one of my videos, but it's one of my favorite inks. And I also didn't think I would like sheening ink so much, but Diamine Holly is a sheening ink. Like Diamine Holly, Monarca Cenote is a really saturated sheening ink. This one, as it dries, will showcase some shimmer. Oh, I really like it for some reason. It's almost, I mean, it's like a blue black. It's like an indigo black. But I think what I love about it is how beautifully it sheens. So I can't wait to show you that sample, that swatch when it fully dries. Okay, last but not least, is purple, and this is Dominant Industry Manschurian Violet. This is an ink that was introduced to me by Ian Domingo. Hi, Ian. And then also Dominant Industry sent along this ink as well. Because of this ink, I am kind of obsessed with this color, this shade of purple. It's not saturated. It's like a lavender, kind of bluish purple. And I think it's just so pretty. Oh. See what I mean? It's so pretty. Here are the swatches still wet. So I'm gonna wait a little bit and let the inks dry. Okay, well, these inks haven't fully dried, but you can start to see the sheening and the shimmer in these inks. The only shimmer ink that I have in here is this deep indigo, and this is Monarca Cenote. It's a beautiful, deep, like indigo blue. It has like a kind of a red sheen with some baby blue silver shimmer. Let's see if you could see that. The other sheening inks, or at least the sheen that you can see in the ink swatches, would be Robert Oster's Fire and Ice. It has some red sheen in the more saturated areas and a little bit in kind of the bolder lines or the broader nut lines in the writing sample. Colorverse Green Goddess has a little bit of sheen in the ink swatch, but not in the writing sample. Also, Sailor Ink Studio has some sheen in the writing sample, and you can also see it in the ink swatch. And Rosa Mexicano, I don't see this sheening. There is definitely no sheening in the writing sample. There's a little bit in the pooled areas, but it's probably just more of like your standard ink, including the Dominant Industry Manschurian Violet, which is really pretty. Also, Colorverse Martian, which is very cool. It has kind of a greenish tinge to this orange, while also having like a deeper orange, like a reddish orange. And then Wearingeul Kyonghui is one of my favorites. It's a deep yellow, a golden yellow. Just a really pretty ink. And these are some of my favorites, my favorite rainbow colors at the moment. And this is June 2023. Sarah from Ginger Peachy Pens, thank you so much. This is a really fun tag. Thank you to all of you for watching. This is open to anybody who would like to participate. If you don't want to create a video, you can also talk about your favorite rainbow inks in the comments below or in the comment section. But here you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.